Hi everybody, Reinhard here. In today's video I will show you 6 easy and cheap flowers that grow from seeds. They will cheer up your garden and support local insects and the bees. So this is the first year that I decided to plant flowers from the seed. That means I'm still kind of a beginner, yet I gained some experience that I'd like to share with you in this video. Some things I could have done better, and that all those things I will share with you later on in this video. Also, if you have any thoughts about the information that I'm sharing with you, let me know down in the comments, leave a like and consider subscribing. So this all started with this envelope that I received from my girlfriend. It's a Tubinger flower seed mix. It was full of seeds all mixed up. I didn't know exactly what kind of seeds were in there, and I just threw them in the plant pots that I made, and I'll show you later on in this video. The next type of flowers are in this Tubinger seed mix: Crimson Clover, Love in the Mist, Borage, Mallow, Phacelia, Sunflower, Marigold, Cornflower, Buckwheat and White Mustard. A fun fact about all these flowers in this mix is that they all produce flowers, and they will all make seeds if they got fertilized. And those seeds, you can harvest them, dry them, and next year you can resow them, so they will grow new plants out of it. In this video I will talk about the Phacelia, White Mustard, Buckwheat, Marigold, the Cornflower and the Sunflower. The other 4 are the ones that didn't make it in my plant pots, so I can't share with you the experience that I gained with the other ones. So there you have the 6 that I'll be talking about. And I'm back. The first flower on this list is the Phacelia. The Phacelia grows pretty quick compared to the other ones. It's quite dominant, it doesn't need a lot of space to grow, so quite ideal flower to just spread and let it grow by itself. They grow multiple branches with on each branch multiple flowers. The bees and other insects totally love it. Really nice to see, and this is definitely one of my favorites on this list. Eventually the Phacelia will lose its flower leaves and the seeds will still need to ripe after that point. Just keep in mind that there's a ripe difference between the different seeds. Personally, I leave the flower untouched for like another 2 weeks, so the seeds can ripe as naturally as possible. And after that period of time, I just cut off the stem just under the flowers, or where the flowers were supposed to be, and I just put them in the storage and let them dry there. Second on the list is White Mustard. It might be a little bit confusing, but as far as I understood, the White Mustard have this yellow color and the insects also love it. Just like the Phacelia, it's a dominant plant, even more dominant than the Phacelia. It grows really fast, can grow up to 1.5 meters and produces a ton of different flowers, and it's really enjoyable watching it over the weeks it flourish. And same as with the Phacelia, just keep in mind that there's a ripe difference between the different seeds that develop over the weeks, because it produces so much flowers over the weeks that has been produced. Yeah, just keep that in mind in case you want to harvest it and replant it next year. And then we come to Buckwheat. Buckwheat is a little bit of a smaller flower on the list. It doesn't grow that big. It does have this really small white or pink flowers. Also the insects love it. And compared to the first 2 on this list, the Phacelia and the White Mustard, this flower needs a little bit more space to grow. Once the flowers get fertilized by the insects, it's really fun to see how the seeds develop on the outside of the flowers in this triangle shape. And about the harvest part, it's actually quite the same as the last 2 on the list. Keep in mind, when the first seeds start to ripe, there are still new flowers coming up to flourish. Personally, I wait as long as possible, but when I see that some of the seeds already fall off, I know it's time to cut off the stem just under the flowers and try it as well. Next one on the list is Marigold, and I just love this one. It's so beautiful, orange colored flower. This flower needs definitely more space compared to the other ones we had on this list so far. This plant grows multiple flowers as well. Compared to the other ones, these flowers are way bigger. Per flower they get multiple seeds, and if you decide to harvest the seeds of this flower, just pull off the flower, let it dry, and Marigold will produce even more flowers after that. The fifth flower on this list is the Cornflower. Compared to the Marigold, it has like the same amount of flowers that it produces. It has this purple color, and also it needs a little bit more space to grow, just like the Buckwheat. And about the harvest part, it's quite similar as harvesting the Marigold flowers. And last one on this list, but definitely not the least, the iconic sunflower. So I don't have to tell you it's a big flower, but it does need a lot of space, and I did make a mistake this year. What I actually did wrong was not giving my sunflower enough space to develop. At a certain point it just didn't gain more height. It just stopped at like 30 centimeters, and other flowers around it were growing like crazy. And now I see that the surrounding flowers are dying off. The sunflower gets more energy and it starts growing again. So that's something you definitely should keep in mind when you grow sunflowers. Give it enough space. Think about at least 20-30 centimeters apart from any other plant. And also the sunflower attracts a lot of bees and other insects. I can't wait till my sunflowers are ready to flourish this year, and yeah, really look forward to that. About harvesting the sunflower, you can cut off the flower of the stem once you notice that the flower is going to hang a bit more. When the color brown is kicking in and the leaves of the flower are dropping off. Then you also can dry them just like the other seeds. They need to ripe, they need to dry to avoid them to mold, so you can replant them next year. Alright, that was my list. The reason why I really recommend you trying this at least once, the process of growing flowers from the seed, is because personally I really liked the process. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the insects, enjoying the flowers, having a good time. You support the local insects as well, the bees that have a hard time nowadays. Besides that, the flowers cheer up your garden a little bit, and it's quite a cheap hobby to have. The 2 bunger mix that I got only costed like about 3 or 5 euros. And if you like to save money over the years, you can just harvest the seeds and replant them every year. Overall, it doesn't take a lot of time to maintain the flowers. Just water them once every 1 or 2 days, and that's almost everything you have to do. Besides, put a little bit more effort in it when you sow them. So try it out, I'd say. The final part of this video, some tips I'd like to give you. So I promised to show you my 5 plant pots and how I spread my seeds in those pots. I'd like to show you that that wasn't the best idea to do. It wasn't efficient. I could have easily spreaded the area over these 5 plant pots with a quarter of the seeds that I got. So I wasted a lot didn't make it, and that's just a waste. So make sure to use quite a big surface and give them a lot of space to grow. Another interesting tip is look at the different sizes of my plant pots. So as you can see, the flowers in the right pots didn't grow as much as the flowers in the left pots. Another tip that I found on the internet is that it's recommended to keep 30 centimeters between the rows where you sow your seeds in, for the roots of the flowers to have enough space to develop and get enough water and energy. Alright, another small tip about the drying process of your seeds. Just make sure that during the drying process the water can escape. Once you cut off the seeds, there's still a little bit of water left in the stem. If they are in a dry place but closed off, there's still a chance that they might mold, and that's pretty unfortunate. And last but definitely not least, make sure that the weeds in the area where you decide to plant your seeds are removed. If not, chances are that the energy and water goes to the weeds instead of the seeds, and that might cost some beautiful flowers in the end. And that were my tips for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Unfortunately, I had to film it inside with this little bit bad quality of lighting. I hope this end result is still a little bit of decent. And thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye!